Today, I thought I'd do something I haven't done in a long time and do a storytime video. Today, I'll be telling you a story about how I became a true menace, an absolute god, a pimp known across my entire elementary school. This is basically a story about how I stood up to someone who bullied me in my entire first grade year and how I overpowered him. This story takes place in first grade. This is back then when I was first playing Minecraft on my Kindle Fire and I still had a millimeter wiener. Now in first grade, I was a piss baby. Literally every time my parents weren't near me, I'd literally just start bawling my eyes out. And of course, all the kids in my class noticed this, so obviously they didn't like me. They found me pretty annoying. But there was this one dude, we're gonna call him Kevin, how about that? Basically, he had all the bitches and was very popular, and he used to bully me a little bit for this. And as puny as I was, because I was literally 3 foot almost, basically, I couldn't defend myself. He'd call me names like crybaby, fart face, poop smeller, and sometimes there'd be times where I'd be in the bathroom and he'd come in with me and he'd be like, "Ooh, nice wiener you got there," while I'm trying to take a piss in the urinals. And as he'd say it, he'd get into the urinal next to me and just pull down his pants all the way, so I'd just get mooned. Finally, I thought, I've had enough of this. I am going to face him and steal all his bitches. In my first grade, if you wanted all the girls, you had to be the fastest to climb the monkey bars, and you had to do it in the best type of way. So I thought, what if, while he was showing off to all the girls on the monkey bars, I made it to where he fell off and ate shit. Now you'd probably think that I would team up with some people to take down Kevin, but I had no friends in first grade, so I did this completely by myself. And as puny as I was, this was very impressive for me. That night, I laid in bed and thought about the big day I had ahead. The day that I was gonna dethrone Kevin. So I went to sleep that night peacefully and wet the bed out of pure dominance. So, that day, for recess, I went to the monkey bars. That's where I found Kevin and all his supporting hosts standing under him as he bravely took the monkey bars. He saw me approaching and said, "Watch this, you fart eater." And he started climbing on the monkey bars at unbelievable speeds. So what I did is I got on the latter part of the monkey bars and climbed on top of them, a place you're not supposed to go during recess. I've gotten yelled at many times for that. When I had finally climbed to the bar where both of his hands were grabbing onto, I stomped on both of his hands as hard as I could, which caused him to fall. Then his huge body just face planted into the dirt, and as planned, he ate shit. All his women supporters were like, "Oh no, Kevin!" as he just laid on the ground, and it literally looked like he was dead, like he was not moving. But I had finally done it. I had dethroned Kevin, something I had wanted to do for so long. So for the rest of that recess, all his supporters followed me, because I was the new king. It felt like I was on top of the world. I had finally taken the one and only Kevin down. But as they say, nothing lasts forever. Now, of course, I did not get away from this. I was eventually confronted. I was called down to the office right after recess, where I saw Kevin and one of the old ladies that just sat in the office. I don't really remember her name. But when I looked at Kevin, I noticed that he was holding a paper towel, and it had blood all over it. That's when the old lady yelled at me and she was like, "I heard you knocked this boy off the monkey bars. You knocked out one of his teeth." That's right, I knocked out one of his teeth. And later I found out, years later, I found out that that tooth was loose and it just fell out when he hit the ground. But at this time, I thought I actually knocked out his tooth with pure force. This lady kept trying to force me to apologize to him, but instead, since I had really never been yelled at by any teacher or any form of higher adult at school, I just started bawling my fucking eyes out. They sent Kevin back to class early, but they kept me in the office to interrogate me. But, I was just crying the whole time. When I came back to class, I was horrified. What I saw was Kevin's supporters comforting him. All that work I had done in one day had been taken away from me. But that's when I went to bed that night and realized that I had still dethroned him. Sure, I may have not gotten the bitches in the end, but I was still #1 king. After thinking about that, I went to bed a happy little kid. And before you ask, yes, I pissed the bed.
KFC and watermelon.
Now, a sophomore in high school, Kevin still does go to the same school as me. I don't know, I don't really keep up with him. I heard he was a perv. But if you enjoy story times, I will probably bring them back for good, only if this video does really good. So, all I have left to say is, have a nice Halloween.
Waffle king and waffle cone, look another leafy clone. You must be so alone, voice is so monotonous, and rappers guess you just don't really catch the message. Promise videos 2 months past, oh how impressive.